What's going on, guys? Jared here. This is the Run with Tobe podcast. I'm here with Andrew. We are on episode 23. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, what's going on, Andrew?
Not much, man. Still on a roll here, man. We're going week to week.
Episode 23, the coveted number.
Oh, that's right.
I think you referred to that a couple podcasts ago. Right?
Yeah, there's so there's 23andMe.
Yep.
But we also found out from someone here in our co-working space that the number 23.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
actually
tilt
has
of the
like
Earth's axis
it's
or
the
something.
natural tilt of the Earth's axis.
Link 23 glasses. We'll link you up, Chris.
Yeah, 23 degree.
23 degree eyewear.
Yep.
I think it is.
And all the greatest athletes
Wear 23.
were 23, or there's some numbers like Serena Williams won 23 Grand Slams, and she has the most. Anyway,
She can retire.
so episode 23. This will be an epic episode. Then
It will be. So with that being said, first off, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and share the podcast with a friend. It only takes a few moments to rate it on iTunes, and it means a lot to us. Also, check us out on social at Run with Tobe, and if you'd like to send us a question or a comment, ask at tobeagency.co. Cool. So we are on episode 23. 23 is a pretty significant number here in Los Angeles currently. Not for a good reason to me, but the thing I've been obsessing about lately is this whole LeBron shenanigans that's going on here in Los Angeles. I don't really know what to say because actually I've been a LeBron fan since day one, since he was drafted. And now for the first time in his career and my liking of LeBron, I have to kind of root against him completely. Like I root against him when he was in the East as a Cav and a Heat member because he would still beat up on my beloved Celtics. But now I really have to double down because he's on the Lakers and it's just not right, man.
Lakers fans are the worst.
You know what? For all you Lakers fans out there, you guys are the worst because 2 weeks ago you guys hated this guy, and now they're gonna probably resurrect a statue before they bring like Kobe statue to life.
I don't have a dog in the race. I don't have a team that I just like watching good basketball, right? But I do have to say, like, after all the shit talking of all the Lakers fans and stuff, just to like see all the comments on like Facebook posts from between friends, and like
you know who you
to
are,
see the 180, But I will say though that I have a lot of friends who are diehard Lakers fans, have had season tickets when they were good, when they were bad, and they're pretty damn happy now that their season tickets have doubled in value.
Good for them, whatever.
But yeah, it's gonna. But hey, man, there is something to say that is as big of a city as LA is, and as much star power as there is in LA. I just remember I was at the grocery store when the whole announcement was it Sunday?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thanks for doing it on Sunday night.
Yeah. I was half expecting the decision thing with the purple shirt.
Oh, yeah.
But I was at the grocery store and I heard like 5 people yell out like, "LeBron's coming to LA. We're gonna be good again!" Like right in the middle of the grocery store. It just, I don't know. He has a lot of star power to come to a city and have that many people be like, excited about him, even in a city where there's like A-list celebrities and all this other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see.
He's like A+ list now.
Yeah, he's like what list?
A+. Or
yeah,
he's like on the A+ list.
He's definitely gonna be seen on TMZ and stuff like that. But anyways, we can hear Jared bitch about LeBron and the Lakers and
for the rest of the year.
Or actually the 4 years that he got signed to the Lakers.
That, and I've been also obsessing about the World Cup. I didn't grow up as like a soccer fan. But for some reason, like this World Cup has been real, and this is going by other people's like analysis of it. Has been really, really exciting. Like the entire first round was really like a nail biter. There was high scores. It was like drama. There's red and yellow cards flying everywhere.
The fun parts of soccer. Came
exactly.
out, right?
The fun parts of soccer. Yeah, all the top players got knocked out in the early game. So, except for Neymar. who, by the way, is the worst actor ever. There's a meme out there. We can try to link it somewhere, but there's a meme of him rolling over.
There needs to be some sort of like video or YouTube video like comparing like worst NBA flops versus like worst.
Dude,
like,
by far, soccer is the worst. Like, you know what? It's the worst. I love watching it, and it hasn't taken me out of it where I don't want to watch it, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. These guys just fly across the field from like the smallest touch or whatever.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's funny because they get, like when you watch a hockey game, like hockey players hit each other pretty hard and they don't fly.
Fuck each other up,
they don't
dude.
move, man.
Yeah.
Football players don't fly.
Yeah.
But these guys, they fly like across the field. So it's
dramatic,
pretty crazy.
One referee, right? Dramatic effect.
Yeah. And, oh yeah, the refs are hilarious too. The faces they make, and they're like so proud to throw up the card. Anyway, that's kind of what has been catching my attention. I know that was probably completely useless to the audience, but I had to talk about it.
Hey, at least it's better. You probably watch soccer more than you watch like ice lugeing or whatever, right? Every 4 years.
Yeah, definitely.
You watch soccer more than every 4 years, right?
I watch it more than I watch the Olympics. Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Cool, man. Well, what about you? What have you been diving into lately?
Yeah, so I think it was a few episodes ago that I was talking all this shit about like esports and live streaming and stuff,
right?
And saying that I basically said like I know that it's an important avenue of content creation, but I'm not really into it.
Yep. Pause, time out, let's cut, add that in.
I kind of feel like I fit in that maybe even minority group here where I don't really find live streaming interesting to me at all. There you go. Exactly. Let's flashback to episode whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I've actually been like watching a lot more esports, like live streaming esports, because first of all, I centralize all of my media, like Hulu, Netflix, everything through an Xbox.
Oh, okay.
That's what I use as my
that's interesting.
media center at home. Yep. So I watch TV on it. I watch YouTube. I watch pretty much it's a media center.
The only Microsoft product that's doing well.
Pretty much, yeah. Although the Surface notebooks they're not bad, but they look
nice.
Anyways, so I've been watching. So Microsoft has a service called Mixer. It's their version of Twitch.
Okay,
and it's got a pretty deep native integration with Xbox. So I just pulled up the app on Xbox, and I've actually been watching a lot more of these content creators, and it's pretty fucking cool, actually. Like. I actually was not that interested in watching them play the games. Most of the games I was watching them play were like Fortnite or some of the, massive online multiplayer and stuff. It wasn't actually watching them play Fortnite. It was actually watching them engage with their
the
audience.
While playing and being super badass.
So
right?
Part of the way that you monetize yourself on Mixer is you do these things called subs or subscriptions, right? And people can subscribe, and Mixer does a rev share with the owner of the channel.
How much is a subscription?
It can be anywhere from like $3.99 to like $9.99.
Is it set by the host?
I think it's set by the host.
Okay.
So I did do a little bit of research on that, but I don't know if it's set by the host or not. But
we can link that up.
Yeah, we'll do some research and link that up. But the coolest thing is like when everyone subscribes, like they'll do like a virtual fist bump, or they'll actually create like stickers or images that can be like overlaid instantaneously, like using macros or like
cool
hotkeys and stuff.
Wait. Okay, so they're playing the game. I'm assuming they have to be Xbox games, right?
Yeah,
it's not PC games. It's just strictly Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're using Xbox controllers or whatever controller, and then on top of that, they're hitting a secondary.
There's something else going on.
Do you think they have maybe like the higher tier players have
probably
secondary people like working with them?
I don't know. It's all an assumption right now, but it is a production.
That's crazy
for sure. And if you just sit there and watch. Like I don't know how these guys multitask, but someone will pop into the chat room and be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he'll be like, "Hey, gamer 123, what's up, man? Thanks for joining." Right? They'll instantly get on it, and they're like playing like just like owning this kid. You know what I mean? But the one thing I actually realized, and you'd appreciate this, is they remind me of like radio disc jockeys. They're super charismatic. A lot of the owners of their own channels are super charismatic. They're all about promoting good vibes. So anyone who's like trolling or anything like that, they basically boot them like right away. And they're all about creating like a certain vibe or like an energy in this room. And I just sat there like watching it on Mixer or whatever. And the stream I started out with had like maybe like 40 or 50 people on it. And then I realized 30 minutes later, I was still watching it.
Wow.
Number one.
Right.
But number two, there was like over 400 people. And on top of that, people are donating money. So like someone will like throw like $5 towards that.
Yeah.
Or
So
like
if you're just
$10.
coming in and you're just like joining for the first time, but you're really digging it.
You just throw them like $10.
Like a tip.
Yeah. Give them like a tip.
DJ
like
tip bucket back in the day.
Yeah. So, and then when someone donates money, that's a really big deal.
Yeah.
So the dude like blows it up, like throws this crazy like animation.
Can we do that on the podcast?
Dude, I'd love to have a button like right there.
Donate.
We just need more live viewers to come on in. You know,
I don't have anything to throw over the screen.
But that's essentially what they're doing. It's like throwing like confetti in the air or whatever, but doing it like virtually and engaging with everyone. So it got me like rethinking like the level of sophistication that a lot of these content creators have.
Oh, right.
And I guess it just goes to show that like, look, if you're like, you know, some 13-year-old kid out there and listening to us, and if you're learning about marketing, come work for us. But if you're someone who wants to be a content creator, it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes like stepping out of your own comfort zone.
Yeah,
because
a little bit of skill too, right? It takes some skill.
No, because I again, and this is probably wrong for making this assumption, but I was thinking like, oh, it's like just a bunch of people chatting, and this guy's like quiet playing games, and you're watching him. But dude, he's like engaging with everyone, like calling people out, being like, "Yo, don't say that," or "Yo, thanks for the fist bump," or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's a TV show. It's
that's exactly
2018's TV show.
Yeah, it's like reality TV, basically, a one person.
But 3.0 because it's actually live.
Yeah.
It's not pre-taped.
Yeah, true that.
Edited.
It's not edited. Yeah. Right.
Oh, let's slip some drinks in here to make these people more wild.
Right,
how
right.
TV used to do it.
No, but it just got me, you know, again, just sometimes, and it was good that we talked about it, because I was like, you know what? This thing is really big. I should give it some attention.
Sure.
You know, and spent some time actually watching it. And I thought it was actually pretty cool.
So do you see it as a huge, I see it as like it's a huge platform, and this goes back to another podcast where we talked about influencers. Like, it's a huge platform to put your products in.
Yeah.
So on Twitch, like Ninja, if you guys are familiar with, I'm sure the audience is, that guy's like making bank, man.
Yeah.
And he's sponsored by, the best like gaming computers.
Yep.
And some of the top, like,
I haven't watched a Twitch stream recently, but I know on Mixer what it does is it actually shows a cutout.
Okay.
Like a cutout of you.
Yep. Of the person.
So
like basically,
sitting in a chair.
For the audience, they're sitting on like a green screen.
Yeah,
and
essentially.
It's keying out the background.
Exactly. And so actually, if you were to wear branded merchandise, or if like you were wearing a headset from
I'm sure that's huge.
High-end company or whatever, or a mic or whatever, they would be able to see that while they're watching your channel.
Right.
I need to, you know what? I need to dig into it a little bit more to see like what you can actually create on on the content creators end.
Well, I'm sure as you level up in that realm, you probably get more, like sparkles and shit to throw out there. I don't know what to call it.
Stickers or whatever.
I don't know what to call it.
The way I look at it is it's a top of the funnel. A top of the funnel channel for a gamer, right? So if for some of these people, and I went out in this 30-minute, I forgot the dude's name, but in one of these channels I was watching, like he got like $20 in the span of like 30 minutes when I was watching it. Just people like randomly donating money to him. But my guess is that those people who would be willing to throw him some dollars, if he somehow found a way to direct them to his social channels or to his website, or anywhere else, if he could direct them further down that funnel somehow, those people donating money to him are probably going to give him their email address, buy his T-shirt, buy his ebook on Fortnite or whatever, right? But to me, it's a way to capture attention at the top of the funnel to people who have no idea who you are. Once they get into your stream, then it's your job to figure out how do you get them down into the middle.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we did it as DJs. Come to, like, here, I'm gonna go play this show.
Yep.
And this is before, like, now, but at the end of the show, I would hand out CDs with my card, and then people would come to another show, and totally.
So yeah,
that's cool.
It's an area that I'll probably be paying a little bit more attention to.
Nice.
But yeah, it was cool.
I think we have slated on the whiteboard live streaming as a topic to really dive into, not just gaming but just live streaming.
And if anyone out there knows anyone who has successfully monetized themselves doing live streaming through platforms like Mixer or Twitch, have them get at us.
Yeah,
I'd love to talk to them to learn a little bit more about
bring them on and
what they do on their side.
Yep, interview them about it for sure. Cool. All right. Well, don't forget to rate, subscribe, or check us out on social at Run with Toby. You can also find us on any podcasting platform at Run with Toby, and share this with a friend. All right, Andrew, that's going to take us into the main topic today, and I'm going to let you kind of drive the ship today because it's all about marketing tech. And I know only as much as you've kind of taught me and the stuff that we experiment on, but I am definitely not a guru in this realm. So take it away.
So we talk a lot about marketing, digital marketing, and content creation, right? And so when you think digital marketing, there's a lot of different components to it. There's email, there's social, there's web design, there's content marketing, there's paid digital advertising, there's all that stuff, right? So we talked a lot about the concepts behind it, some of the tactics behind it, but we haven't really taken time to talk about one really important component of all this, which is the technology side of it. And I think that's something that in the last 20 years or so, technology has truly changed the landscape of marketing, not only in the way that we market to people, but also the tools that we use to market to people. So the paradigm that we use to market to people has shifted a little bit. And what I mean by that is technology has blocked out things like spam
pop-up
filters,
banners,
pop-up banners, all that kind of stuff, right? But what we're going to talk about today are the tools that you're actually going to be using when it comes to building an entire marketing campaign.
So behind the scenes.
So a little bit behind the scenes. So we'll link this graphic in the show notes, but it's an insane graphic because
is this the one you showed me with like the million?
It's like it's basically an infographic of all the different MarTech or marketing technology providers that are out there.
Right.
It literally looks like every single Where's Waldo book, like superimposed on top of one another.
Gosh.
So I don't even know how many are in there, but there's like thousands of them.
So when you first showed it to me, it reminded me of this site that way back when, I don't know, probably like 2001 or 2, something like that. I took a web development class on like how to use Dreamweaver for anybody out there. That's old. But anyway, they showed us this really cool website, which I it's funny because I still think about this today, and obviously there's got to be different ways to do this, but this guy built a $1 million website at the time by selling $1 banner ads to 1 million companies. So they were $1 each and it was just a website with 1 million banners on it. So that's what it reminded me of. Anyway.
Yeah. So
it's just a little tangent.
That was probably when there were like 10 marketing technology companies on that.
Yeah, exactly. Thing. And only like a few places that could afford banner ads.
Yeah, but check out this graphic. It's an insane overview of the landscape of marketing technology.
We'll link it in the show notes for you guys.
But let's kind of like take a step back and maybe boil this down to the idea of like, what is marketing technology, right? And so to me, I like to think of it as tools that allow you to build a repeatable, scalable marketing function across your company. And maybe to summarize it even more, it's like it allows you to grow like multiple marketing arms. Yep. You know what I mean? Like to have that like have like multiple tentacles when it comes to marketing. So when I talk about scalable and repeatable marketing functions, like how do you make your email marketing more repeatable and more scalable? How do you make your social media marketing more repeatable and scalable? How do you make your content marketing more repeatable and scalable? And so you need tools or technology in place to allow you to make these things. I keep using the term repeatable and scalable because that's exactly what you need to do. You need to do the same thing over and over again, and you need to be able to do it faster and with more people as you get more and more customers, right? So I guess that's one way that I look at marketing technology. I mean, how do you, like, for someone who may not be as, I guess, well versed in marketing technology, like how do you sort of see it, like operating from the content side or creative side?
I see it as the repeatable technology is probably the thing I think of the most, especially when it comes to, I guess my first encounter with marketing tech was before we started our agency, was MailChimp. And being able, or even before that, FanBridge, which was like another email marketing campaign builder. And that was basically, we had to put out this newsletter every so often. And it needed to be rebuilt every time. You're putting new content in it, you're putting new copy in it. So the first time I got a chance to work with something like MailChimp or FanBridge, it was kind of like mind-blowing because it was something I didn't have to create a new Photoshop graphic and then email that out, right?
Yep.
So,
oh my God, that's how you were doing it.
Well, not
that's how you were doing it before. That's crazy.
Don't hate on me, guys. But
that's insane, man.
I didn't just send out a giant JPEG image.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. Oh my God.
But you would just rebuild that every time, right? But so things like MailChimp come along and help, like, I guess, navigate that and help you build it out of a template so that it's just really quick rinse and repeat.
It's almost like you're working inside your word editor.
Yeah, you
like
just change the things that need to be changed and then you send it off on its way.
The other interesting part about, let's use MailChimp as an example of marketing technology, is that it also allows you to automate and put some technology around how you build and segment lists.
Sure. Well, yeah, and before you even get to that point, the automation sequences that happen when the interaction happens, right? So back in the day, it was like you fire off an email, they read it, they respond somehow. No, there's no follow up. It was you behind the machine, kind of waiting to do that.
Yep. So. Manually send the second follow up.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So having that, in place also is.
So that's the automation feature in MailChimp, which says you can input logic into your email sequences that says, if you send an email and 2 days later nobody opens that email, you sent email A.
Right.
But if you send that email and someone opens it 2 days later, but they don't take an action like a click in that email, then you send email B.
Right.
Yep. So that's a really good example of what marketing technology is, but applied to one part of marketing, which is email marketing.
Well, one section of email. Right?
Exactly. So I guess the next question I always like to ask is like, why do we need marketing technology? Right?
Well, I think you said it in the opening kind of statement, it's the scalability and repeatability. You can't, there's no way you could scale that process. Just think of email on its own. Like, there's no way one person could continue to do that as your email list grows. Sure, 10 people, it's whatever, but 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever. It's the scalability right there in itself makes it worth it.
Yep. Another important reason why I think people should look at kind of off the shelf marketing technology is it reduces your development time. That's actually a really critical thing that's becoming more and more of a trend that I see these days when it comes to marketing is, how do you enable digital marketing without having to involve a developer? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's like
going back to MailChimp, they've done a really good job of making it like a WYSIWYG type interface.
Yep.
They make it really, like, my mom, well, maybe not my mom, but somebody's mom out there could probably open up MailChimp and figure it out relatively
and build a
easily.
Campaign.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another sort of big reason why you want to look at marketing focused technology, because a lot of development tools that are out there you can custom build all the marketing tools you need, but we're not all developers and we don't have time. Like, you don't want to build in
Or
another
money,
4 weeks.
It's more money usually.
Right. You don't necessarily want to build in like 4 weeks
Right.
into a marketing campaign just for development work. So that's another reason why you should use it. I actually think another really key reason why you should use marketing technologies, a lot of these technologies, they sort of have like a best practice like workflow. So like MailChimp, like if you're building an email newsletter, they kind of take you through these sequential steps to building the actual campaign. And when you're actually building the campaign like that, you're actually following what most marketers say you should be doing.
Right.
Optimizing the subject line, optimizing the body, putting the alt text in there, like all that stuff. So using marketing technology actually forces you to follow some best practices that you may not do if you're just doing it on your own.
Or just may not know.
Right. Exactly. And I think last but not least, like it's probably most important because you need the data and analytics that come out of it. And that's something that I think we as marketers, you know, in this day and age have gotten a lot smarter with using data. And if you don't have a technology system that gives you the right data, you're not going to be able to make intelligent marketing decisions or scale your marketing if you don't have that data available.
So let me ask you this. If you're a small business owner and you're maybe just starting out, do you think you can get away in the beginning without implementing any market technology? Or is it something that just the way most of these tools are built these days, even some of these website building platforms, it's kind of built in to, you know, and it's in the best interest that they're building these tools into their platforms because it makes their product obviously better, maybe have a leg up on an older product. But do you think that you can get away with doing business without using marketing technology? And what does that look like?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I would say that if you're web facing or you need to have some sort of online presence, it's tough to. I would say it depends on your goals, right? So if all you want is to drive traffic to your website, maybe you don't need a lot of marketing technology to do that, right? But if you want to do some more advanced things like capture leads and nurture those leads, or if you want to do remarketing to the people who do visit your website, or you want to direct them over to other channels other than your website, you need to have marketing technology. Right. So I think it really depends on the goals that you have set out for yourself. And I think it's easy to kind of fall into the trap where you feel like you need every single tool out there.
We've talked about that.
But you really got to figure out, number one is like, are you going to be able to get full use out of that tool? And number two is, do you have the resources necessary to use that tool to its fullest extent? You know? So yeah, I guess it really depends, you know, on where you are in your business and where your goals.
Do you consider social as they stand, not implementing anything additional to the platforms? We're talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Do you consider those as marketing technology?
Yeah, they're a platform that you have to learn. And one really important part of marketing technology is that these days, regardless if you're using all-in-one platforms or if you're using one-off platforms like MailChimp, is that all the technologies have to talk to each other.
Right.
So like HubSpot just built an integration with Facebook where the Facebook lead ad product, they have a product where you can capture leads without ever leaving Facebook. They've built an integration for that into HubSpot now. So even the marketing technology platforms are treating the social platforms like technology products themselves. To me, anything that has an API or data can be pulled in and out of it.
The way I think of it is if it has one-on-one interaction with a potential customer, then it should be considered.
Yeah. Well, if anything, I mean, you could think of Facebook as an an advertising platform.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
The perfect advertising
Right?
platform.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think the social networks for sure are a piece of marketing technology. Absolutely.
So outside of, we always talk about HubSpot because we're HubSpot agency partners, but outside of HubSpot, what are some other examples of like the all-in-one encompassing packages?
Yeah. So,
and I guess next level on that question is like, why are those all-in-ones so badass? And like,
yeah,
how much do they cost?
well, they're not for everyone. And I would say that if you have a really, like, for example, HubSpot, I love HubSpot because it's simple, it's easy to use, and you don't need a ton of technical expertise to leverage it. Something like Marketo, for example, would be like a much more deep tool, and that requires a little bit more development.
Maybe if you have a development team.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a little more sophistication,
you're building like a crazy product.
Yep. Or you have a crazy e-commerce engine that
needs to be that deep.
Yep. Shopify is also a pretty popular platform that everyone's aware of as well. So I would say like those are some examples of ones, but the things you should probably consider are, number one is the cost. Something like HubSpot, like the basic plan runs like maybe $100 to $200 a month, whereas Marketo can start the tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, so that's quite a jump.
Yeah, there's multiple layers of it. You got to consider what is your level of sophistication and what are your technical skills, because a lot of times some of these tools require technical integrations that require developer type skills. And I actually think the most important thing is like, how much time or effort can you dedicate to using this system after you've implemented it?
Sure.
It's like the typical problem where you buy this like shiny new thing, but you use like 10% of the features.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's also a big consideration, is like, are you going to make sure that this is a key part of your marketing organization moving forward? So that's another consideration.
Yeah, I mean, because of the automation abilities, I think of it, at least I like to think of HubSpot as like, yeah, it's a piece of tech for us, but it's almost like a group of employees.
Oh,
sure. I like to think of it like that, because what we're getting back out of it, because we are trying to maximize the use of it, how many employees would that take to do those things?
Yep. Sure thing. Yeah.
Cool. Super nerdy again.
Yeah, we got pretty deep on this one too.
I know. I started to fall asleep. No, I'm just kidding. just kidding. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today. Make sure you rate, subscribe, check out the Run with Tobe podcast on all social platforms. And you can hit us up if you have any questions. Ask at tobeagency.co. We will see you on the next one.